What's up, guys? Welcome to Daily Dose of Reddit. This is your host, Zach, and today's subreddit is r/entitled parents. This story's called Letter to My Sperm Donor. Disclaimer: no offense was meant to actual sperm donation children. This was meant to be perceived as an inactive member of my family. Dear Redacted, over time, I have received the messages that you have sent to me through my mother. She has often gone against my wishes and responded to you with information concerning my life that I do not feel that you deserve to know, as you are not a part of my life. After the last past message of "Daddy loves you," I feel as though it is time for me to respond to you for the first, only, and last time, to give you closure as well as clarity. Firstly, you were only a father to my brother and I when it was convenient for you. You made it very clear that you did not like children, not even your own, and especially my brother. There was never a time that I felt comfortable coming to you about any of my feelings or issues, as you would normally shut me down with a complete lack of concern. You were cold, unloving, and never showed any compassion. I can remember maybe once that you attended any of the football games that I performed at. My mother was there helping out at the concession stands, painting the banner for the parade, and helping in any possible way that she could before she moved out. You were supposed to take over her responsibilities, all of which you did not. There were years that my best friend's mother financed band trips, stockings, and shoes for me. My band director paid for my uniform in order for me to be on the flag team because you never assisted with my extracurricular activities, which happened to be very important to me. There were too many horribly uncomfortable instances within your home that have scarred me. A daughter should never see her father's member as much as I did as a child, teenager, or adult. The first time was around Christmas. I was about 6 or 7 when you came into the living room while Redacted brother and I were picking out toys in a catalog and stood naked in front of both of us. That was not okay on any level. Oftentimes, I felt like you put it on display as you would stand in the bathroom naked with the door open after my mother moved out. You drank all the time. I hate the sound of a top being popped on a beer can and never drink so much as a canned Coke because of that sound. You were always gone hanging out with white trash scum like Redacted and Redacted, getting drunk and high when I needed you home spending time with me. As soon as you shut down your shop at 5 o'clock, you were gone. I knew that I could count on you being gone until late night. I spent countless nights at Aunt Redacted's house, eating hot meals and being around a family in order to get any sort of comfort from my loneliness. When I was in the 3rd grade, you took us to your mistress's home many times and left us in the living room playing Nintendo while you had sex with her in her room. Even then, I knew that something was not right about you going in there with her. You were caught years later with her in my bed. After all you put my mother through concerning that disgusting woman, you let her move into your house, of which I lived in as well. Redacted told me that she had an affair with you for 10 years. At this point, you and my mother had not been divorced for that long. For that, you are scum. I have never and will never trust a man because of your sneaky, heartless actions. I remember you choking my mother right before a funeral. I remember her tears and the red marks on her cheek. Why? Because her dogs were urinating on your floor. What was your solution?
You have 30 days to get them out, or I will kill them all.
I also know about the kittens' heads that you smashed in with your heels instead of bringing them into the pound. What kind of sick monster does such a thing? You. When you came to my graduation, you showed up filthy like it was just another day. Your pants had grease all over them and your shirt was a mess. I was so embarrassed. That day, you told me that I was coming to live with you, and I honestly feel that the only reason was because you did not want to pay the extra child support. Redacted, family friend, took care of me. You never called to check on me. She even helped me get my first car. Do you remember the day that I asked you to help me put the door on my car? You were
too busy,
yet stood and watched me struggle at one point. I'll never forget it. As a child, I was always happiest when we were away from you. Every time you showed up at our doorstep, I was angry. I hated you for always coming around after my mother was doing fine. You were even there through 2 of her marriages, sneaking around like the snake that you are. I'll never forget the crude, inappropriate things that you used to say in front of us. I remember,
"Smoke them hams."
I also remember you yelling at my mother about inappropriate things that she let us watch. hypocritical to say the least. I will never forget how you always spoke to my mother and how you never showed her any affection or love. I do not have many good memories of you at all. They are too clouded by all of the horrible, inconsiderate, selfish things that you have done. The last time that I saw you, I was in line at Walmart. I turned my back to you and prayed that you did not see me. I cringe at the idea of seeing you in person again, or what I would do if my emotions got the best of me. I want nothing to do with you. I cannot say the name for my brother, nor do I understand why he would ever consider listening to anything you have to say to him after the way you treated him for years. I, for one, cannot wait until your name is permanently removed from mine. I have thought about changing it several times. There are many other instances or reasons that I can give you for not wanting to speak to you or have anything to do with you, but frankly, I don't have enough paper nor time to waste getting into it. Happy holidays. Man, the world is a cruel place sometimes. You know, there are those people that grow up with very healthy and happy families, and then there are those like this Redditor here. That's sad. It's really unfortunate because growing up with a horrible family, it kind of limits you in a way. Obviously, there are those who have had a bad family life and they still found great success, and that's amazing. However, they still did not start at a good place, which sucks because there's literally nothing that kids can do if their parents are horrible people. And obviously, we all hope that this Redditor here eventually recovers from any sort of traumas that she might have, endured as a result of her horrible father. Holy crap. This story is called Entitled Mother Refuses to Move When I Tell Her to, Then Freaks Out When I Write Her a Ticket. I work at an airport. Federal regulations prohibit vehicles parking next to the terminals. My job is to tell people this and have them take a loop around or go wait in a park and wait area. Most people understand and drive off. The people who always give me a hard time are the elderly white women. Anyway, here's the cast. Entitled mom. Poor son. Me. We get drivers coming to pick up their people in waves due to multiple flights landing around the same time. Drivers will then pull to the nearest open curb and park. What we do is break the stretch up section by section and start from the area closest to the exit and work our way down. I just finished telling a vehicle to take a loop when Entitled Mother comes speeding down the road and wedges her way into the slot I just made. When this happens, we don't say or do anything because often their person is on the sidewalk ready to go. I'll finish talking to the cars that have been there a minute and then come back. When I go back to her, I give her the same phrasing as everyone else. Hi, unfortunately, there's no parking and waiting, active loading only. If your party is not out here, you're gonna have to take a loop around, alright? Oh no, my son is coming out right now. Okay, ma'am, I can give you another minute, but if he's not out by the time I start walking back to you, you'll have to leave. I then stroll off before she can say anything. Usually when I say that line, people try to argue and ask for more time or get angry. So to prevent that, walking away is the best option. I finish the section again and head back. Now, doing a section usually takes about 5 minutes, so she's had plenty of time. I tap on her window to get her attention. Still no luck? No, he's coming soon! Unfortunately, ma'am, you'll have to go around it this time. Just get into the leftmost lane and you'll see a sign that says, Return to Terminal. Only a 4-minute drive. I'm not going! He's so close to coming out! Ma'am, if you're still here when I come back, you're getting a ticket. Hearing this, her inside Karen awoke. You have no right to threaten me in such a way. I am a tax-paying citizen, so my money paid for this airport. I can wait as long as I want. I don't argue with people, but I did notice the section was full again, so I just walked away. Finish it again in another 5 minutes. She's still there. At this point, I pull out my ticket book as I'm walking to her vehicle. Everyone on the sidewalk is smirking and giggling a little. They're enjoying the drama. I walk right past her window and stand in front of her car and start writing her plates. What do you think you're doing? You have no authority. You're not even a police officer. This is true. I am not police. However, I am airport operations. I have to enforce airport safety and protocol. When acting on behalf of my job, what I say is just the same as if it were from a cop. Ma'am, I have told you several times you'd have to take a loop around. Plus, you've had over 15 minutes to wait. She continues to yell at me, trying to create a scene and make me nervous to stop writing the ticket. It's also policy to not hand the person the ticket. We are to put it under the windshield wiper. I do just that. However, just before I do, I get a feeling to call control, not ATC but airport control, and request a camera be out on me, just for safety.
Now you're trying to break my property. I want to talk to your manager because you're getting fired.
Ma'am, I'll be more than happy to call a supervisor. However, about breaking your property, we have video evidence that I did not do such a thing. The entitled mother just keeps going off. I can take it, the section is mostly empty. However, there's still a lot of passengers on the sidewalk just watching the whole scenario. She then gets out of her vehicle and says something like,
"Well, since I've already been ticketed, I'm just gonna go find my son."
The ticket she was given was for airport signs and markings. There's a different code for an unattended vehicle. Me being the cold-hearted schlong that I am, I let her walk away, gave it a minute, wrote her another ticket, and called for a tow truck to take it away. The entitled mother comes right when the tow truck starts backing up to lift her front wheels.
What the frick are you doing?
Unattended vehicles must be towed away.
See, son, I told you he was discriminating against me and targeting me only because I'm a woman. You need to do something.
Sir, how long has my mom been parked here? I'd say about 40 minutes. Mom, you know that's way too long. Poor son shakes his head, and before his mom can start to say something, he says loudly, "Let's cut our losses right now and leave, before it gets towed all the way away." If a vehicle is towed, it is an additional $50, but even if the tow truck touches the vehicle, it's $25 to the driver of the tow truck. The poor son comes over to me while his mom gets in the passenger seat. I'm sorry for what she said to you. If anyone apologizes to me, I call it good. I tell him it's whatever, and then he thanks me for being patient. Because he's being so nice, I decide to teach his mom a lesson. Because you're being very polite and reasonable, I'll waive the $25 towing fee. Thanks, I really appreciate that. I'll be getting out of here right now. He then turns to the whole crowd. I'm sorry for how my mom behaved and acted. If she offended anyone, I am so sorry. I take it he wanted to teach her a lesson too. I figure let's add on to it. Sir, because people like you make my job easy, fun, and nice, I'll also void the second ticket. I grab it and walk away. Edit. I am trained in customer service, which is odd for a government entity, right? Well, anyway, I figure with this scenario, I could actually teach everyone a lesson. If you're a reasonable person and apologize or act responsibly, you won't get a ticket, or you can have one voided. My boss has said several times that tickets aren't a tool. They're the last resort of our enforcement. My goal is not to try and make the airport more money. It's to give people a good experience with their travels. So, in seeing that the son was apologetic, I wanted to reward him, and hopefully make everyone leave with a little hearted feeling that if I'm good to these people, they'll be good to me. If only everyone was like that ever. Now, I'm sure that there are officers of all sorts that are like this guy, and if you show that you are not trying to cause trouble, and you're a nice person and you're apologetic and reasonable, they'll let you go. However, there are those that are what they call bullies with a badge, and they go out of their way to make your life hell and try to tack on as many charges as they can because, like I said, bullies with a badge. I will say this though, in my experience, any sort of officer I've ever dealt with that I can recall right now has always been the first type. You know, the ones that are always reasonable and kind and just trying to help you out, which I appreciate. Like an unbelievable amount. I cannot stress enough how nice it is when authority figures are pleasant. This story's called Entitled Mother Says I Shouldn't Be on the Bus Because of the Way I Dress. This is my first time posting here after following this subreddit for a while. Here's a little backstory. I am a very small, 4'10", 19-year-old. I dress emo, gothic. All you need to know is on this day, I am wearing a vest hoodie combo that has spikes and roses on it. This happened late last year, about August 2019. I dress a lot more emo gothic now. Here's the cast. Entitled Mother, nice kid. Me, yeah boy. So I was on the bus going to a youth group I go to every Wednesday and Friday. It was about 3:40 p.m. on a Friday when this happened. I hopped on the bus, no problem. It was empty as usual. I sat at the front of the bus, listening to music on my phone. Everything was fine until the next stop. The stop after the one I got on at. Cue entitled mother and her kid. The kid was around 5. He hopped on the bus before his mother.
Nice jacket.
Thank you. Then the kid runs down the bus and stands around in the walkway. The mother follows behind her son and notices me at the front as she walks in. She stops, looks at me up and down with a judging look.
You shouldn't be on the bus dressed like that.
Me, not sure how to respond. What?
You'll scare kids dressed like that.
Now, I babysit for a living, and kids love this sort of thing, and I'm probably the least threatening person you will ever see. As I said, I'm super small. I go silent, but the entitled mother doesn't back off.
You should at least sit at the back of the bus where the kids can't see you.
Her son starts running amok, running up and down the walkway and laughing. The entitled mother hears his laugh.
See, you made my child cry because of your jacket.
I really didn't. Your son said he likes my jacket. The entitled mother didn't back off. What she said next made me lose my dookie.
And anyway, that's no way for a young lady to dress. That outfit isn't very ladylike.
How dare you freaking tell me how to dress? Don't ever say I'm not freaking ladylike. You have no right telling me what to wear and what not to wear. Now, step off! Admittedly, I could have handled this better, but I was pissed off. The entitled mother looked dumbfounded, grabbed her kid, and got off at the next possible stop. Okay, so here's my advice. If anyone ever comes up to you and says, "Oh, that's not very ladylike," and they're a woman, you can be like, "Neither is that mustache." Or better yet, you can be like, "Neither is that bulge in your pants." And if you think that's offensive because it's like, what if they're trans? Well, here's the thing. Obviously today there's no ladylike and not ladylike really because, people are more or less not giving a crap anymore. And they do and dress as they please, which is great because America, that's what we're about. Neither is that mustache, neither is that bulge. It's just pointing out their hypocrisy and idiocy and all the other issies. So it works on multiple levels. There we go. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell to never miss an episode.